Go. Motivate. 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 Mo.
Since my last video, people have been asking me, what's this motivate yourself thing at the very beginning? Well, I'm doing a little tiny intro, and I want to just have something that can really just embody for the rest of my life and really pass on to you guys no matter what the video is about, and that is motivate yourself. Okay? Find a reason to love yourself. Find a reason to love what you're doing. Find a reason to express positivity. Now, today's video is a review, and I'm not going to express very much positivity, but I am going to try, because I'm a fair man. Alright, so I watched Rise of the TMNT. If you don't know, right now you can watch the entire first episode on a link down below on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing. Then there are like 4 more episodes you can watch that kind of tell a small interconnecting story over on nick.com if you subscribe to one of the many cable channels that carry it. But I don't, so I only watched the first one. So my review is only of the first episode, so let's just dig right into it. So immediately I'm going to tell you guys that I found myself conflicted about this show. Now, I immediately want to compare it to all the other Ninja Turtle generations that came before it, because I've watched all of them. And when I say all of them, I mean I've watched, that's a lie. I was gonna say that I watched every episode of every series, but that's not true, because I remember when the Ninja Turtles in 2003, I believe, went to the future, I quit. I was like, no, I'm out. I'm good. I don't need this. I'm good. This is trash. And then it turns out the Back to the Future series wasn't that bad. It just had a different turn. And this has happened before. This is very in line with the Turtles, because the Turtles do this thing where they go from, we're going to be serious and a little funny, to we're going to be funny all the time. And then they go back to, we're going to be funny a lot. And I think the Turtles are a property you can do that with. You can play around with the tone, because the tone is switched up and down throughout the generations. In my opinion, of all the series, my favorite is still 2003. They did a really good job of keeping the serious tone with a few small jokes here and there. Things like the Turtles hiding, a few running gags here and there, without, you know, just it being like ridiculous to watch, right? But then again, that same series later became a different series called I forget the name of the series. It's just the Turtles Go to the Future, and that series was less serious in tone, but still a lot of fun. Then later, that same series became Back to the Sewer, where again they removed a lot of the serious and a lot of the interconnecting stories that made it a really addicting ride along the way, and that's where the show ended. Which is kind of on a low note. They redesigned the Turtles, made them look really cute. It was kind of weird. And then the next series we got was the one, I believe, in 2000. See, my ability to tell time has been destroyed, so I'm going to get all these time periods wrong. I'm not doing any research. So it was like 2011, I believe, and they were all in CG, and people were like, what, CG Turtles? No! But it was a really good show. It was like one of the best shows they've done. But they also were really silly at times, and at the same time, really serious, also very grotesque. They had a very different take on everything. Even when the voice actor for Leonardo changed from the guy from American Pie to the guy who does Robot Chicken. I know their names. It's like referring to them as the things they've done. They just had Leonardo get beat up, and said his voice got messed up in the turn. It's kind of like when Disney's Doug switched voice actors, and instead of like, you know, ignoring that his voice was different, they were just like, oh, you're going through puberty. Anyway, I digress. Back to the show that we should be discussing. The Rise of TMNT. So ultimately, everybody already feels the same way about this one aspect, and that's the animation. The animation is like flashy. It's not like flashy like, ooh, this is so fancy, I can't believe it. No. It's flash-y, as in it's like very much of the aesthetic that it was made in Flash, which, you know, is kind of choppy. And for me, I like fluid animation. I like seeing smooth actions go down. And this didn't have it. So that did really kind of bother me. It was the one thing that I couldn't really let go of. The rest of it I could kind of deal with. I can deal with Raphael being the leader because I love Raph. Raph's my favorite turtle. I can deal with all the turtles being funny, which is weird because they always have like one turtle that's not really funny, and you kind of like, man, can you lighten up? And then again, my like original Raphael from, you know, with Rob Paulson doing the voice, who also did Donatello later, he was more of a wisecracker and more sarcastic, and I dug that about him. When they made him into more of a like, I'm always angry, ugh, I can fight, yeah. When they made him into that turtle, I didn't like him as much, so I kind of like seeing Raph be able to crack jokes again. It's refreshing for me. I also really enjoyed the fact that Leonardo has more of a personality than just being a goody-goody. You know, he's also very, like, witty. And I think that fits, because if they're brothers and they grew up together, their personalities are going to rub off on each other. Like my little sister and I constantly crack the same jokes. We constantly make each other laugh. No one can make us laugh like us, you know? So it makes sense to me, so I'm okay with it, all right? Then you get the villains that pop up. And I actually have to say I like the way they look. I've only seen 2 of them, but they do look cool. They do have an original aesthetic. And then you meet Splinter. Master Splinter's always been kind of a dignified character, right? And they just went the completely opposite route with him. And I'm not really into it, you know? I'm just not. They made April black, which is... She's not April O'Neil. I'm just going to say that. She's not April O'Neil. But then again, if you look throughout the other April O'Neils, they don't really have anything that makes them the same character throughout. I mean, the original Turtles series had her as just a news reporter in a yellow jumpsuit. She was hot, but she got caught a lot and was kind of like, you know, headstrong and determined. But that was, you know, the gist of her character. Then you had the next Turtle version of her where she was not a reporter. I think she was a assistant in a lab. I might be getting this wrong. But she wore purple instead of yellow. And she was also headstrong. But she also, you know, kind of had to take care of herself. But also, they yelled a lot and depended on Casey to save her most of the time. And then the next April was a younger girl who was back to being headstrong. And, you know, she knew how to fight. And she was pretty much the most developed April they gave us. And then now we have this April, who I think is going to be less developed. Just because it's more of a comedy series. Like, I don't think they're gonna give her very much to grow on. So she's just gonna make sassy comments and have the cat weird thing and be headstrong. So for the most part, she's gonna be headstrong, and that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get an April who's headstrong and Black who'll speak a little bit more ebonics. That's what you're gonna basically get. I'm not saying that because she's like, yeah, yo. She just has more of that that slang to her. You can just tell that she is raised in New York, and it fits. It fits her character for a little girl who hangs out with turtles. It just works, okay? I'm not going to talk about Megan Fox because I don't want to get into that. I actually like those movies, so that's just me, but that's just how I feel. Anyway, so ultimately the series does a good job for the most part. I actually don't hate it. I just wish the animation was better. Like, I like that the Turtles got new weapons. At first I was kind of like, you're getting rid of Leo's... sorry, I'm saying everything wrong. You're getting rid of the size. You're getting rid of the nunchucks. What's wrong with you guys? And then, you know, it was like, you know what? This is kind of cool. These things do stuff that's different, and it's cool for me. They can do things to the fighters. So I did do some research and found through watching other vloggers. I watched Black Nerd Comedy, just gonna throw it out there, and he mentioned some of the elements that they added to the series, like the foot soldiers being made of paper. That's kind of cool because now you can like rip them up literally, and it doesn't matter. So you can actually see some good, cool action scenes. And when the action did pick up, the action was pretty darn awesome. So ultimately, I'm going to say that Rise of TMNT, while the animation kind of sucks, the rest is okay. I'm alright with this being a constantly joke-heavy series because we've seen it before. We've seen changes in the Turtles before that, you know, were for the better or worse throughout the entire incarnation. I even think back to the original series when they moved from, I believe, syndication to CBS on Saturday mornings, and then they changed the Turtle style there, the two, and I mean, they were uglier, and then they got these weird mutations that allowed them to like bulk out and get freaky, and that was gross. That was ill. That was nasty. But it worked. You know, it worked for what they were going for, and it still told a good story. It just wasn't the same Turtles we grew up with. And the thing is, that's the entire, I think, idea behind the Turtles. They will never be what we grew up with. Whatever you grew up with is going to change, and it's going to be different. And so I get it that it kind of does look like it sucks because the animation sucks. And the jokes are constant. But you just got to be okay with the fact that they are going to try new things with this property because it's so enduring and it's so durable that you can play with it and it doesn't exactly break. Again, the Turtles have been non-serious in the past. Now, I think the perfect balance of Turtle is serious comedy, drama, and an engaging story plot. But this incarnation of the Turtles isn't that. So I'm just going to say I hope it doesn't last very long so I can move on to the next thing. But I will say for what it is good. So watch it, enjoy it, and hop on board the train, you know? Hop on board the turtle train. I don't know. I'm not, like, pumped for this series. I'm like, oh my god, I have to watch every episode like I did the other ones. The last two were phenomenal. This one was kind of like, okay, I can cut this on, I'll laugh a little bit and get out. Like, it's like Teen Titans Go. I hated Teen Titans Go blindly because the internet said I should. And then I started watching it, and it's actually pretty entertaining. And as a piece of entertainment, I can't really hate it, okay? It's not what I want from Teen Titans, but it's still entertaining, period, you know? So in that form, the Turtles works. So just chill out, enjoy, and let's do this. Those are my thoughts, everybody. What do you think about the rise of the TMNT? Are you gonna watch it? Are you out of this thing? Are you gonna wait till the next incarnation shows up? Because I might do that if, you know, I don't know. If it doesn't bother me too much to watch the jerky animation, you know, I might watch this every week. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It's hard because we live in this generation now where there's like really good animation, like really, really good animation, and you want me to watch this like in 2018? Come on, man. Come on. So yeah, this is a positive review, but with hesitation. If I have to give it any number of turtles, I'll give it 3 out of 5 Squirtles. Not the best, not the worst. It's not terrible like people are going to tell you it is. It's just not what you probably want. But you can't always get what you want. And with that, after you teleport.
Go motivate, 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 motivate.